Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Amrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya
Hello, hello. It is Tuesday night, 5:55, which means I am sitting in front of my video camera and tuning in to see what is going on. Yeah, energetically, vibrationally, here on our planet, in my home, everywhere. It's my time to really just tap into vibration and feeling and sound and energy, and then share whatever comes through. So I begin with a thank you to Alicia Mathewson again and again and again for her beautiful chant, the Asato Ma Prayer. If you are not familiar with the meaning of the words that we were chanting, it is this ancient call, this ancient remembering of lead me from untruth into truth, lead me from darkness into light, and lead me from death to immortality. And so we open the vibration, the foundation of the space with those words, those sounds. So thank you, Alicia. Let's see, what would I say? There's just so much that's been happening. I'm all squirmy tonight too. There's like a lot of energy moving, and I'm like making myself sit in one place, and I can feel I'm kind of like a toddler. Like I want to play, I want to tap, I want to talk, I want to share. This is funny too, because the last video I made was on the full moon, and I was crying through that. There was so much emotion moving, and I had a little vulnerability hangover after that, as Brene Brown would say, where I'm like, oh, why do I share? Why do I show up? Why do I bring these emotions out and bring them forward? And I always trust, like, there's some resonance that my story informs your story, and then perhaps what I share vibrationally moves through you and out into somebody else. And you know, I've been saying this to my friend a lot recently. The strongest heart is an open heart, a heart that is constantly allowing love to move through, and love to come in, and love to go out, and, you know, experiencing life with all that it brings to us. And sometimes that means tears, and sometimes, like in this moment, it means pure joy, pure delight in all that life is bringing forward right now for me. So you get the contrast, right? That is the point of the human experience, is that we have contrast all around us, and then we get to experience one and decide, like, do we like that feeling? Do we prefer something else? Like, how are we going to move through our journey? And sometimes we ping pong between the two. Sometimes we find a groove that feels really good, and we just kind of follow that groove. For me, most of the time, my energy is very happy, very, I am positive. I like to see what's positive in life. I like to find the silver linings under the clouds and share those and focus on those and expand those. And so sometimes when I'm in the sadness, it's like in the movie, what was it called? Oh my God, I forget the name. The Disney or Pixar movie where they talked about the 5 emotions, and anger was the little red whistle that kept blowing. And then there was sadness that was blue, and the little pixie joy one hated sadness and didn't want to be around her. And then there was just that beautiful moment where sadness and joy came together, and they created, you know, something new. For me, it's that way. I don't always like being in the sadness, and what I find as I move through whatever that contraction is, or that learning, or that welling up of so much emotion, is that my heart is bigger at the end of that. My heart is more open, more excited about what is coming through next, and what is the expansion that is following that contraction. And so I've been having a lot of fun this last week. It is also a new moon in Gemini, which it's just a new moon, right? If you're following astrology and the cycles of the lunar eclipse, if you're following the lunar cycle, you will find that there are always new moons and full moons. And I prefer the new moon because it feels like a blank slate, like everything is wide open and all the possibilities are available. So we get to sort of write our own plan, our own next steps. We are intentional about what we're creating. And because it's a wide open sky, we can write in whatever we want to write in. For me, this is a new moon in Gemini, and I am an Aquarius sun, an Aquarius moon, and a Gemini rising. So I hold the duality, as I've learned about the Gemini. I am not an astrologer, but I definitely have read enough that I'm a little bit dangerous. I probably misquote more than I quote accurately, but I feel like I have a sense of it, and so I share what I feel. The Gemini, the way I interpret the Gemini for myself is, I can hold both. I can sit in the blah, blah. I can sit in the density of the third dimension and still see the absolute potential of the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 15th dimension. I can see that there are all of those, even as we sit here in this reality. The duality of, like, I can feel the contrast of pain and also know absolutely that there's love underneath the pain, or growth and hope that sits right besides the pain. And so duality is it's a concept I understand, and I have an ability to navigate it that feels very comfortable. So as we go into the new moon in Gemini, there is just so much coming to the surface for me about the way that I am experiencing the reality of this earth, and all that I know that is possible and that is coming, and that is literally like right here for the new earth, the new Gaia, the new reality, the new way of consciousness, the expanded way of loving and being. And how do we bring those two together? How do we embody what is so dense and heavy here and what is so pure in the highest vibration of love? How do we bring those together? And I feel like a lot of what I've been doing right now is bringing the tools and the resources for bridging those two contrasts. I'm going to use the same words over and over because it's so connected right now. The creations that are moving through me are very much about creating a new bridge, creating a new language, opening different perspectives so that we can be the expanded, beautiful souls and be functioning and living with success and joy and peace, here in this 3D world of Earth, of Gaia. So it's just fun. It's been really fun. The new moons are always very invigorating for me. I have a lot of extra, I wake up very early in the morning. I'm super focused and excited and ready to start working, and I create, and then I need a little nap in the afternoon for an hour, and sometimes, and then I'm up, in the middle of the night thinking about things. Like, there's just, it's like when you're in college and you're prepping for finals, new moon energies feel like that. It's like there's such a burst of energy knowing something cool is about to be created. There's a portal that's opening, and there's something beautiful that we can create in that portal. And that's what I've been experiencing over the almost last 4 or 5 days for sure. And then, now. So it's been fun. I changed my 8-week program that I did live in March. I converted all of it over so that it's a standalone program that you can do at any time. And I got all that together. And the edits to the autism book that I was so emotional about in the last call. The book arrived today. It's here. It was in my hands. Patty came over and got her copy. Patty has it in her hands. Like, the artists that did all of the beautiful paintings, the illustrations that are inside the book, we're getting each of them copies. Like, it's moving. It's here. It's birthed. And we're so excited. We're just so excited. We're planning a little gathering, and just good. It's all very, very, very good. And the next project for me, there's two. One is, I don't know why I always look down at my desk. Like there's some written answer in my desk that's going to tell me what I'm talking about next, but it's not there. The next project is my podcast called Gaia's Love, which is going to be short little messages every day, every couple days, about what's happening energetically on our planet. So that is what I'm beginning on the new moon tomorrow. I am beginning some of the energetic foundation of that. And I've started tuning into the next book that's moving through me, which is so exciting. It's like Christmas when the first ideas, I guess we're talking about creation right now, or creative energy, when how do I describe it? You know that feeling, well, for those who've had babies, you know that feeling when you know you're pregnant, but nobody else knows yet. And so it's like this delicious, like, secret inside of you. And everywhere you go, everything you do, there's just this awareness inside of you that something's different, but nobody knows. It's kind of like that. I remember that with both of my babies, like just being in the joy of the fact that life is creating, life is birthing, you know, inside of this physical body, the miracle of that, the deliciousness of sharing that with your partner. You know, my husband and I were so excited with both of our children, just so excited. And the secrecy, the knowing that it's like your beautiful bond. I feel that way when a new idea comes through and I'm just starting to form it. In my meditation time, it's like I can feel source energy sitting. That's not true. Source mostly feels like sun to me. It's like, you know, there's this big, huge, like in front of me, this big, huge ball of sunlight when my eyes are closed, and I can just feel this movement of energy from source to me and me to source. And it's just delicious. It's just like this flow of energy. And as I sit in meditation and I can sense like something is ready to be formed, some project, some creation is ready to move through me. And I just allow that energy to flow in. It literally takes form. So sometimes it takes form as an image, so I can see the image forming in my mind. You know, like the cover of One Day Gaia Grows Up, the autism book. It literally, I saw the image in my mind. I knew exactly what the cover of the book was going to look like. I knew the picture that would be the cover. And so that image was attached to the forming of the book. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It just feels like I get this download of something, an image, a story, a framework, a structure. And then in my meditation time, as I consistently come back and tune in over weeks, months, however long the creation of the project is going to take, it just continues to take on more form. It's like a bit of Play-Doh, and I'm constantly just sort of shaping it. And then I arrive at moments like this, where the book is in a box on my dining room table, just smiling at me because it's manifested. It was an idea, and it was a thought, and then it was a project on paper, and now it's a book. It's a book that people can hold and read and share with their children and share with their grandparents. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing to be able to create and to flow energy and love in such a tangible, beautiful way. And I guess I'm sharing all that so that you're inspired to create whatever your creations are, so that you can see, like, it actually works. It happens when you have an idea and you consistently come back and back and back and back and look at it and form it and shape it. You get to the place where that creative idea is a tangible product, output, living, breathing energy that exists in the world. And then it goes and does whatever it's meant to do. And sometimes that means we stay a part of that project, we work with it, we hold it, we form it, and sometimes it means we hand it over and it goes where it's going to go and you just release it, you know? Yeah, that was a whole bunch of excitement. But I'm squirming again. I feel very much like a toddler. Like, can we go play? Can we go play? Let's go read the book. Let's go read the book together. All right, what I felt that I would be talking about tonight. I woke up this morning again at 5 o'clock, wide awake, just laying there pondering life and everything. And I was like, oh, we're going to talk about scribing tonight, because Tuesday mornings are always a quandary, a pondering. What am I going to talk about tonight? And I love that. I love the mystery of not knowing what it's going to be, and following all the clues to see what actually moves through me when the camera is spotlighted and saying, speak. You know, what is it that wants to come through is always so much fun for me to experience. And yeah, maybe for you, hopefully, if you're watching, it must be fun. If not, oh well. Sometimes I just crack myself up. Okay, this morning when I woke up, the first word I felt tuning into tonight was scribing. You know, I'm going to talk about scribing, which I shared in, what was that for? Oh, when I talked about the 8-week program, I talked about my role as a scribe, that, yeah, I guess I'll say it again here, because saying it, speaking it always makes it more real, doesn't it? Like, you can write it, you can type the words, post it on Facebook, send it as an email, and then there's like speaking it, which is way different. And this also is Hello New Moon in Gemini. Gemini is about communication and speaking our truth and expressing what we know in our heart and what we feel in our solar plexus. So let me express this. Yeah, I've dodged this word for a while. I like the word writer. I like the word author. Blogger never quite sat right. I don't know why, but it didn't land as well. Yeah, scribe, when I first really started feeling the truth of that for my soul, for the work that I do, I was like, it sounds kind of like pious or righteous or elevated or snobby, or, you know, like you're a scribe. Like there's some sort of self-importance, you know. When I tuned into the word, I'm like, yeah, no, like religious, really sacred, holy people are scribes, not me. And so I really pulled back from that, even though it kept coming up in my meditation. And for most of this year, from really the beginning of this year, January, until just recently, I'm like, nope. And sometimes I'd put it somewhere and I'm like, nope. And I would write in my journal, scribing, and I would channel the message of whatever it was that was coming through. And I'm like, oh, like I know this is what I do. And also claiming it felt, yeah, all those words I was describing. And so I've been clearing the resistance to it, or the fear that I've held around it. And what I believe to be true in this moment, and moments always change. So this is where I am right now. Yeah, I'm going to muscle test while I talk. So I know that I have been a scribe in many, many lifetimes. I know that communication is easy for me, or familiar to me in this lifetime, because I've done it so many times before. Whether that's writing it out as a as an author, as a scribe who writes, or speaking it as, a witch, or what word would I use? Activist in other lifetimes. I know for sure I have been one to come into communities and shake things up, wake people up, and expand love. And sometimes we expand love by making people uncomfortable, by speaking truth that perhaps they're not ready to hear. And so this role of being a scribe, I know, is one that I have experienced many, many times. And also with consequence. I believe many times I have been punished or hurt or killed, or whatever the stories were in those lifetimes, as my throat gets all scratchy. I believe there have been consequences for speaking truth. And I know I'm not alone when I say that. I know this is a pattern, a story that many souls in human bodies have gone through in many different lifetimes in order to become more courageous, in order to practice the strength that it takes to speak truth even when there's resistance coming towards us. And so the process of going through the contrast, speaking our truth and getting punished, speaking our truth and getting killed, it strengthens our ability to now, at this time in life, where in humanity, where, at least where I live, here in Cincinnati, I'm not going to be killed for speaking my truth. I'm not going to be kicked out of the village for speaking my truth. I am simply going to be ignored if it doesn't match what someone says, or they'll tell me they think I'm wrong and I'll say, okay. Like, there's no, the danger, the life and death danger doesn't exist the way that it used to. And I know there are many stories where, well, I'm not going to get into other people's stories. This is my story. My story is, it is safe now for me to speak my truth. And there's a calling in me. My soul knows that I am here to speak truth, and to tune in very clearly to what the messages are that are going to serve humanity as we continue to evolve, as we continue to expand consciousness. And so I've been playing with it in different ways, and dancing around the title of scribe. So this past weekend, it felt like that landed very firmly for me. So the way I define a scribe is a soul in a human body who is really tuned into their connection to source, and then clearly tuned into the receivers who are, is that true? The receivers. Tuned into the potential of what the receivers can feel or receive from those messages. So it's being a conduit. I feel the energy from source, and I can send or transmit it out into humanity. What happens once the message has been sent with this clear channel, this pure love moving through me, is then up to the people who are receiving it. And so there's a detachment, in a sense, that's needed when I scribe. There's a letting go. Like, I'm going to give you what it, I'm going to not give you, I'm going to express what it is that I feel to be true. And then it's up to you on how it's received, and what it awakens in you or not. And there's no right or wrong to any of that. It's energy that's in motion and moving. And the work that I do daily is to keep my connection to source as clear and flowing and pure as possible. So tuning in meditation and rinsing out whatever it is that's ready to go. And when I scribe, when I sit with my phone in my meditation chair, and I finish my meditation and I'm at the process of what I call scribing, and I'm holding my phone, I'm just speaking into my phone. It's very much like what I'm doing here with a video camera. It's clearly feeling, it's much faster with the video camera. It's like multiple senses going on at the same time. But when I have my eyes closed and I'm speaking into my phone, every word is so precise. And I can feel inside of my heart, inside of my body, I can feel when a word is not the right word. And so I pause and I re-say the sentence, and then I feel like, is there a word that serves better, or that is a clearer expression of the feeling that's coming through me? And so scribing takes intense focus for me. It is a process of being literally really still physically, not a lot of sensory activity going on around me. So my eyes closed and not a lot of, really no noise. I do that usually in my bedroom with, everybody else kind of out of the space. And then it's just this precise expression of energy in words. And so I know I'm not the only scribe. There are tons, thousands of scribes that are playing here on our planet right now. And they are thousands. I don't believe there are millions. I believe there are thousands, but I could be wrong. But the messages are unique that come through each expression. So the messages I bring through are what my filter is going to show me as energy coming through and out. Other people are going to have their filters, their human experiences, and so the energy that moves through them is going to be expressed differently. This is why so much of my work, my call to action to everyone that I support or videos I make, it's step into your own truth. Step into your own truth. Start expressing your own truth, because what you have to say could be completely different than what I have to say, but it brings contrast forward. It brings information forward. When it's your truth and it's moving through you, and it's my truth and it's moving through me, all of that becomes energy that is part of this huge consciousness that we call human experience on Gaia. We want the diversity. We want the expression when it comes from truth, because truth is always love. Always love. So when you're expressing your truth, you are bringing love forward in your unique way. And then we're all just expanding love with our own varieties of what that looks like. So speak your truth in this new moon in Gemini. Start feeling the connection to source, and then flow that energy through you and out into the world. On the meditation I did on Sunday, when I was preparing for it, I kept getting this message, like, it's going to be about the throat chakra. We got to activate the throat chakra. And I'm like, of course we're activating the throat chakra. It's new moon in Gemini. It's all about communication. Like, I get it. And so I showed up for the meditation. What surprised me, there is a throat chakra activation in it for sure, but what surprised me is how much it was just about life, the beauty of this experience here on our planet. What moved through me in that meditation was this, it was beautiful. It's like this flowing energy. Let me see how to say it. I believe that Gaia Earth has a unique energy, vibration, consciousness. The planet that we inhabit has an energy field that is unique to her. And when we ground, when we connect our energy individuals, when we connect down into our planet and we root in and feel what she's feeling, we get information from her. She speaks to us through the energy of our feet. She brings, that's why I call it the Gaia chakra. She brings information to our feet, and then we can feel that. And so it's like when you when you see people, I just shared this with a friend today. When you see a window or a mirror or something, or not a mirror, a window, and people put their hands on either side of it. There's a window in the middle, but their hands are right there. It's like they can feel the vibration of the other through the window because they're connecting. Well, it's just like this for Gaia, right? So here she is wanting to meet us. Here we are bringing our attention, our awareness down to the earth, to the surface of the earth. And then she can send us all this information and we can feel what's happening on our planet. And I tuned into that in the meditation on Sunday. And it was just this immense maternal love, just this pure encouragement, like I feel from the energy, she wants us to be advancing, growing up. She wants, the name of my book, Gaia wants us to grow up. She wants us to wake up. She wants us to have grand adventures. And as we expand our consciousness and are more awake and speaking our truth and creating beautiful creations, all of that is an energy that feeds into Gaia, feeds into Earth. And then she becomes more. It's here also we're in the new moon in Gemini, right? Which is about new partnerships, contracts, understandings. Gaia Earth is like people. I'm going to do a prayer. People, please wake up. Will you wake up and feel how I'm right here? I'm ready to meet you, support you, create with you. That was the beautiful message that came through on Sunday's meditation. You can listen to it. It's in my store. It's the image from the intention grid is beautiful. It's a glass of water with all this blue spiral reflected in it. I mean, it's just beautiful how it all turned out. So, yeah, I digress. I'm picturing what the intention grid looked like, and I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. It was such a reflection of that maternal energy. It was really amazing. So scribing, throat chakra, activation, speaking our truth, all of us really being called into what are the ways that we express consciousness, love, when it flows through us in pure energy from source. How do we channel that or message that out into the world? And so that's really what I've been experiencing over the last week, is just a constant flow of more and more truth and creation coming through me. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. The other thing that happens with new moon energy is they call it, I think it's the dark moon. I feel like I've talked about this before. Full moon illuminates what perhaps is out of alignment or what is ready to be brought to the surface, right? The full moon is going to bring that up for us to look at and heal or expand or let go. And so as that full moon energy is moving through, the period between the full moon and the new moon, we can start to sort through the new understandings. We can start to I guess because it's a new moon in Gemini, so much of it is connected to communication. So what I have also been feeling over the last 2 weeks is so many new truths have been spoken in the relationships I'm in and in the work that I do and in everything. I feel like there's been, as I get squirmy again, there's been a lot of truth coming up. And we can speak that truth from a point of view of I want what I want, right? This is, I don't know why I'm fumbling around on this part. Speak your truth, clearly communicate. Yeah, it's vulnerable to speak our truth always. And sometimes when we speak it, we're like, oh, like I was sharing after the full moon. So soul stories that I made. When we are in the new moon in Gemini, as we've been moving from the full moon to the new moon, for me, there has been this powerful opportunity, especially because Gemini is so prominent in my chart. There's this powerful opportunity of stop covering up what you're feeling, right? Stop being the nice one who doesn't say what you really want or what you really are experiencing in the moment. Like, speak the truth in the moment. And I'm pretty good at that, but there are definitely places where I pull back a little bit. I want to protect the other person or keep things comfortable. And I have had some just incredible conversations over the last week, and it's good. It's really good to speak truth when it's coming from love, when it's not coming from spite or being vicious or wanting to hurt the other. Because I've spoken truth before. That doesn't get anywhere except more pain. When the truth comes from this really loving place of, I don't have the answers. I don't know how it's all going to work out. I don't have a master plan that has everything in a perfect place. But I'm here, I'm present, I'm listening, I hear what you're saying. I know how I feel, and this is what I want to share with you about how I feel. When the dialogue is like that, when it's very direct but very kind and very very intentional, like the purpose with which I'm sharing this is so that you can understand me better. I want to understand you better. How do we move through some of these old stories or old patterns that have kept us in places that don't feel good or places that don't feel comfortable? How do we break through some of that and create something that feels more in alignment, more expansive, more hopeful? Those conversations are awesome. They're so awesome. And then they lead to, more connection and more trust and more intimacy and more. So it's been really good. It's been really good. One of the other last little nuggets that I'll share, when I woke up this morning, I got this message about scribing. I was like, yeah, maybe, maybe not, maybe not. And then in my meditation, right before this call, I always do a Deepak Oprah meditation. I just pick whatever one feels right. And today it was, what was the day? It was about shedding weight, and it was overcome the obstacles to achieve victory. And what I loved is in the intro, Oprah said, victory is the ability to be aware. Victory is awareness. Because when you're aware, you can change anything. You can shift anything. You can open up to the new possibilities. And I feel that. I've felt that for a while. Meditation teaches awareness. It teaches you the practice of focus, of bringing all of your attention in and then narrowing in on the one thing that is most present for you. And that's where awareness is like, oh, I didn't know that was the thing that was sitting right there, right? Awareness is, it's so powerful. And one of the awarenesses that I have had over the last few days, so in my work, and many people have this ability, this is not something unique to me, but in the work that I do, when I see energy, I can see things that I feel will be happening. And so there's a way where you can chase that. You can try to always be seeking the next thing that's coming so you're ready for it, or be preparing for whatever the next thing is. There's a wanting to be out in front of ourselves to make sure that we get the thing that's coming, or prepared for the thing that's coming, or telling everyone about the thing that's coming. And what I have been noticing is I like the surprises. I really enjoy the delight of showing up on this call and not knowing what it's going to be about. You know, showing up on the meditations on Sundays, no idea. Kind of think I know what it's going to be, but I don't know. Source and I are going to be fully aware in that moment, and we're going to see what comes through. And that delight in the not knowing is becoming ever more fun for me. You know, there's an ability that has gotten easier to relax into life, to not need to know the plan, knowing there's an incredible plan that's happening, that's unfolding, that I'm creating. Everyone around me is a part of it. Like, I know something amazing is always coming, and yet not knowing is just awesome, fun, delightful. Keeps life interesting and entertaining, and it doesn't feel stagnant or boring ever. You know, I always laugh when people tell me they're bored. I'm like, how can you be bored? Like, there's so much that can be done. And if nothing else, like, go outside and walk around and see the trees and marvel at what the birds are singing today, because it's a different song than yesterday. Like, there's no time to be bored. I get tired more than I get bored because I'm moving through so many experiences and being fully aware in those moments of how awesome it is. I don't know, maybe the title for tonight is awesome. I think I've said it like 50 times. Anything else about, when I was in my meditation, I was thinking maybe the title or the feeling or the theme for tonight is actually just life exclamation mark. You know, like, life is just so good. Actually, I think that does feel like it's going to be the title. Because it's just a journey, and showing up for it, being present for it, being aware in the moment, and being completely trusting that it's always going to be something more moving through. And since I'm the one creating what the more is, I'm creating the more that I like. And so there'll be those moments, those pockets of contrast to remind me how good the more is. But I don't need to write in the big painful dramas and stories anymore. You know, I don't need that. So that's what I got. That's what I got. One of my friends always says that to me when we finish, like, there's some huge story. And then she's like, yep, that's all I got. I'm like, that's it? Just that? That's all you got for me? Really? You can't give me more? Life exclamation mark. Okay. What I'm going to read to you, the lyrics, are hopefully lyrics that you already know, because the song is classic, absolute classic, and I believe it is a scribed message from John Lennon to humanity. And the reason that it still resonates so many years after his death is because the words are truth. The words are truth, and the words are love, and it is a call to action. It's a reminding for all of us of what's possible. John Lennon bridging, just like me, right? Like, John Lennon bridging the reality of the life he was living and the pure knowing of what he could see for humanity, bridging both, and then bringing through this incredible song that, imagine. It's even just the title, imagine. It is an incredible, incredible scribed message for all of us. So my encouragement to you is, when you get done watching this, go play the video, go see his beautiful face, and, feel what he was feeling when he sang this song. Tune into the vibration, the original vibration when that was birthed into the world. It is just as potent today, just as powerful. So I'm going to read the words, because sometimes reading it sounds different than when they sing it. But I encourage you to go find it. Go find it and listen. It played the other day, by the way, on Sunday. When did it play? Sunday? Yes, it was Sunday morning. It was right before I was going to get ready for the meditation. I was taking a bath, and I do a meditation in the bath, a chant. And so at the end, when I was getting ready to get out, I was like, shuffle, I need one song, like help me anchor in what the vibration is right now on our planet. Show me, like, let me feel what needs to come through in this call, the meditation. And I hit shuffle and boom, Imagine by John Lennon. And I just surrendered and smiled, and it was a beautiful, beautiful meditation. All right, so imagine John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion, too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Amazing. Blessings upon blessings to the soul of John Lennon, who transmitted that incredible gift to humanity. So, life, exclamation mark. Let us live from that vibration of pure, pure love and express that in our own unique ways and see what comes forward. See what healing we can do. All right, so much love. Mwah.